I like Invincible. I just caught up on the show, and I like the show. I love fighting. I love the fight scenes. I like the gruesomeness. The characters are like well written. Like there's likable characters, and there's characters that you can kind of dislike or you can feel a little indifferent about because of some of the choices they make. It's a good show, but when I'm watching, I just can't help but like to grow this disdain. Like I think I hate. I despise. Like I think I loathe, bro. And really, I just have a couple problems with Invincible. And I think you're going to realize by the end of this video, it's a lot more than a couple. First, let's get straight into it. His outfit design. Mark's outfit is not good, bro. And it bothers me to my soul because when I see him on the screen next to like other characters, he just looks like a background character. If this show wasn't about Mark, which obviously, but like if we didn't know he was the main character, you just lined up a bunch of heroes, I'm not looking at Mark Grayson. He's a side nigga to me. He's a side character to me, bro. Like his outfit isn't good. It isn't iconic. Art even said so. Like everybody wants the iconic suit. Woody Woo is hard to do, but you didn't even try for Invincible's suit. This original suit is horrible. I hate it. It's bad. Now his black and blue John, this one, it's okay. I mean, I still don't think it's good. The shapes still aren't good. And it looks, honestly, the black and blue one makes him look even more like a side character. Now, the original bulletproof suit, this suit, the one that he tried on first, if he would have rocked it in this blue and yellow colorway right here, that would have been more tough than his regular suit, I think. It's not the best suit, but it's tougher than his regular suit. I don't like it. The color blocking is bad. It needs a different shape. Maybe I'll throw up some like designs or something. Maybe I'll draw something. But it should have had a different shape or something to it. Like it doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good. So we'll get past that. His suit is trash. But now here are the real problems. Fight IQ. So the real problem with his fight IQ is he doesn't learn or adapt. Like throughout the show, we don't see Mark Grayson learn or adapt at all. And it's frustrating because he doesn't add anything new to his bag or fight people in a different type of way. And it makes me think, like, what are you really doing in the fight? Like, he's a meathead. Mark Grayson is the definition of a meathead, bro. He doesn't really get down like that. He constantly gets hit by, like, obvious punches and beams. Like, I don't know what's wrong with his reaction time, but it's just not there. And, like, I forgot what episode it was, but when they fought Universa, right? He pulled up on Universa, him and Eve, and he was like talking to her. She's flying in the sky. He's like talking to her, telling her, hey, man, just chill. Just put that down, bro. You ain't got to do this. You ain't got to rock like that. And she turns to the side, lifts up her beam. Her eyes change colors. She charges the beam up and shoots this nigga. Mark doesn't even budge. He doesn't sidestep it. He doesn't dash out the way. He sits there, crosses his arms, and takes the blow. What's the thinking behind that? You've seen she prepped it. Her eyes changed color, everything. She changed stance. You had ample time to react. I just don't understand like why he does stuff like that. He gets hit by obvious punches. He gets hit by tons of headbutts, it feels like. I don't know how many I'm going to be able. Hopefully they're showing. I don't know how many I'm going to be able to put up, but I can think of at least 3 right now. And I just feel like he keeps getting in these clinches with people and then gets headbutted. I think there was one time in the show where he headbutted first, but I'm not going to show it. I'm hating. But I will say that he got headbutted so many more times before he threw the first headbutt. I don't get it. You know people do that already. You've been headbutted like 5 times in the show. Cut it out, my nigga. Also, he never comes up with like different approaches to handle shit. Like if something is too sturdy or too strong, he doesn't like, I don't know, when he fought Dr. Seismic for the first time, he like turned his body into like a drill. Like he flew and like twisted so fast that he like drilled through concrete to save some people that were falling into a lava ravine or whatever. He's never done that again in the entire show. He spun and flew so fast that he turned his body into a drill. He's never done that. He doesn't utilize things like that throughout the show, like when he's having trouble fighting people. But I don't know what he's thinking. I truly don't know. Like, I got some notes here. That's why I keep looking this way. The Viltrumite chop. When something's sturdy or real strong, real like hard or something, he's not. Viltrumites have that little thing they do where they use their hand to like chop shit, which I will get back to, actually. But like he doesn't use stuff like that. Like I don't understand what's going through his brain when he fights. He doesn't have any kit. He doesn't have a bag. He's bagless. He also doesn't use his surroundings. Like in the Liu fight, I don't remember what episode this is either, but in the Liu fight where he fought the dragon for the first time when Liu pulled up to the prison, we see a scene where Mark reached down and grabbed 2 pieces of concrete and threw them at Liu. Now, did they do anything? No. But I was just amazed because that was the first time I've ever seen Mark use his surroundings and like to his advantage in a fight. Like he doesn't ever grab anything to try to maybe bang with a nigga or like throw something at him or do anything to help his case in a fight with his surroundings. That was the first time I seen it, so I had to take note of it. And I was like, okay. But then it really didn't do anything. But he didn't do anything after that. He done nothing before, didn't do anything after. I don't get it. Also, he sucks at like recognizing fight patterns. He doesn't, the headbutt thing. When you're in a clinch with somebody in a headbutt, you've already been headbutted 2 to 3 times. Why are you sitting there holding hands with somebody, watching them pull their head back and headbutt the shit out of you? Do it first or get out the way or do anything. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, bro. Rushing Angstrom when he fought what is his name? Angstrom Levy in the crib, and he flew through a portal. He flew at him, he put a portal up, went through it. He came out that portal, flew at him again, went through another portal, came out that portal, and you probably know how this goes. He's just getting put in portal to portal because he keeps trying to rush this man. When are you going to learn, hey, I can't just fly at him. He's going to keep putting portals. Maybe I should try a different approach. Maybe I should fly out the house, go around and come through the wall or something so that he can't see where I'm coming from. Like something. Stop flying at this man so he can keep sending you to different dimensions. That was slow. I couldn't help but to realize that was idiotic. I was so frustrated watching that fight. In the fight against Thula. Thula's the girl with the Viltrumite girl with the braid with the knife on the end. She's tapping this nigga up. Why are you not realizing, hey, she has a ranged weapon that has way more range than I can even, I can't touch her when she's cutting me with that knife. Let me get in on her. When he actually started banging after Omni-Man gave him that pep talk, he was right here with her. Right there in front of her. Banging with her. The knife becomes a little less of a threat. Now she has to hold it. She's not swinging it around, controlling it, which is her strong suit. Now you're in there with her, and it's a hands battle. He's not thinking of stuff like that. Like, it just, or at least it takes him too long. Like, he did it there, but it took him entirely too long. He was already getting beat up. And there's people in the show who have this ability to learn or adapt. Like Eve. Eve fought Powerplex. I'm pretty sure she might have hit Powerplex one time. And she immediately realized, damn, when I hit this nigga, he charged up. And from that point on, she didn't punch him. She didn't hit him at all. She was like dodging his attacks and like trapping him. And then she passed him off to Mark. Or whoever she passed him off to, I forgot. But I think she hit him one time and she already recognized. She even said it like, oh yeah, and I realized that you charge up after you're hit. So she's just like, she caught that right away. I guarantee you Mark wouldn't have caught that right away. Mark would have boom, 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 let him charge up, boom, got blasted, boom, boom, boom. I don't see it. It's not there, bro. And like, it's frustrating to watch because one of the fun things to watch about anime heroes or like, anime main characters or like superheroes and shit like that is you get to watch Naruto learn Sage Mode because he knows he's not strong enough, or like learn a new move like the Rasengan to add to his bag, or you get to watch Ichigo learn Getsuga Tensho to add range to his bag or get stronger for his Bankai. You get to watch Iron Man. Ant-Man ran through Iron Man's suit one time and fucked his suit up. So then Ant-Man got a nanotech suit that has no gaps in it, so nothing like that can happen again. You get to watch people learn and adapt, and I feel like when you're watching Invincible, you don't get to see people do that, or at least not him. So speaking of adapting, Eve was one of the people who I've seen like she noticed Powerplex powers right away, and that was cool to me. She also is one of the people who adapts so well with her powers. Now, she does have a power that's really easy to allow her to do this because she can make whatever she wants. But in that same Liu fight where they fought the dragon, she handed Mark a handle, and then with her force field powers that she usually uses for protection, she turned herself into a big force field pentagon or something like that, and like turned herself into a mace. That's adaptation, bro. She's really like learning like, hey, I can use my defensive power as an offensive power with the help of this guy, with the help of Mark. Like, she learns. She knows how to do that. Rex is another person whose power is pretty simple. He touches stuff and he can make it blow up. But he learned how to like, in the episode where the Viltrumite marks, I think it was like season 3, episode 1, where the Viltrumite, not Viltrumites, where the Mark variants came to the planet. We seen him do a move that we've never seen him do, I don't think, where he touched a garbage can while he was standing on it, and it blew up and boosted him into the sky. Like, that's learning how to use your powers more. That's adapting, bro. You get to see that from people. Dr. Seismic, who's supposed to be like a gag villain, or at least at the beginning, he's just your basic mad scientist. But he went from their very first encounter, where he just had the seismic gloves with the little blast and shit like that, to losing after falling into a pit of lava. He comes back with the jetpack that he mentioned. He on his Iron Man. He fell last time. This time he comes back with a jetpack and some lava friends, and his seismic wristbands seem to be stronger. He's doing more damage and stuff this time to the environment and everything. Then he gets beat again and comes back a third time. He's now learned how to communicate with underground bugs and beasts. His seismic blasts are even stronger. He's still flying on them. He still has the jetpack. Like, he's just getting better every time he comes back. After loss, he just gets better and better. Mark doesn't do that. There's a random old bald-headed villain running around adapting, but our main character can't. It's frustrating to watch. It's truly frustrating to watch. And when he came back, he really banged. He really banged. The nigga almost won. When Seismic came back, that nigga almost won, bro. I'm going to get back to that too, but he deadass almost won off that, bro. Oh, yeah, and last but not least, Cecil. Cecil has no powers. So if we want to talk about, I know I was talking about people who have powers that like you can adapt from. Cecil has no powers. Guess the way he adapts. He uses things that he's seen cause problems. Cecil knows we need to protect Earth. It's his job to protect Earth. So when the Reaniman was beating up on Mark and shit like that, he's seen that. He said, hey, these niggas are really strong. This technology is really great. Even though this guy has done bad things, I can make him work for me and use those things for good. Hey, Darkwing was really banging. We need more heroes in the world. Even though he killed some people, maybe we can get him right, bring him back, get him to work for the good guys. Like, Cecil knows that these things need to be done because the world needs protection. People aren't going to... Mark, you can't stop niggas like Omni-Man. If somebody like Omni-Man comes back, Cecil knows you need help. Like, people can't just do it on their own, especially not these sorry-ass heroes we got. You need help. So Cecil's adapting in that way. So like I said, Mark doesn't really have those powers where he can adapt and learn and like change his powers to use. But what he does have or could have is hands. Just have better fight IQ and be stronger. Your whole power is that you're strong and indestructible and fast. Get faster, get stronger, and get better fight IQ, bro. Mark doesn't even learn. And we know fight IQ exists. We know like people can learn and adapt because in season 4, I think. Season 4, it was like episode 2. Yeah. Season 4, episode 2. Nolan. It was a Omni-Man flashback, and he was fighting his parents on his adult day or whatever they call it. And his parents were beating this shit out of him. He was fighting. He was trying to fight his hardest, and he got good hands, but he was getting jumped by 2 strong Viltrumites. He threw a punch at his dad, and his dad flat hand snagged that John. Caught it. Beat Mark ass. I forgot what he did after that. His mom running up on him, chopping him up with these. The Viltrumite chop. She sliced him across his chest, right? He's seen those 2 moves and adapted. He got in a 2-hand clinch with his mom, and instead of getting headbutted like Mark Grayson would have, he stuck his foot in the ground and kicked up dirt on some Tobey Maguire. I'll throw dirt in your eye, nigga. He kicked up rocks and dirt in her eye. Got to put a big ass rock in her eye because he's adapting. He's getting jumped. So yeah, he's going to fight dirty, use the world around him. But back to what I was saying, he threw a second punch at his dad. He winded that hoe up so that his dad could realize, hey, this is a strong punch. And he threw that John, and when his pops went to block it, he used these. That's good adapting. He used one of these and stuck his hand through his dad's hand. Once again, It didn't win him the fight, but you can just see that the cog is working. You know something's going on up there. You know he's not a meathead. When Invincible fights, just talking about this is getting me so frustrated. I'm trying to stay on track, but the nigga's not. I don't even know why he named himself that. Like, his name should be Resilient or something. He loses every fight. He's dying every fight. He's not. Like, bro, if anything, we should have named somebody else. Because he is not the one, my nigga. That nigga is not. I'm bad. I'm going to calm down. I'm going to stop, bro. But you get the point. Adapting is possible. Learning is possible. Mark just doesn't do it. And unfortunately, it is a big problem. Because the fact that he doesn't do it just causes him to lose a lot of fights. Now, there's some fights that he still would lose if he adapted. But he could be way closer. Could have a better approach to fights if he had a better fight IQ. It's just too low. If your whole thing is going to require strength and fighting and hand-to-hand combat, you need to be faster and you need to be smarter and you need to be a better fighter. Like, it's simple, right? It's just simple. He has some of the weakest hands and he doesn't have to. And I'm just saying this because of the way he fights. He might have some of the weakest hands in the show. He shows glimpses where he can really bang, like in the Thula fight. In the Thula fight, after he got that pep talk, he started really banging with Thula. He gave her some good little combos. He was really moving a little bit. He just wasn't strong enough because at the end of the montage of them four fighting, Mark was looking like how he looked. Thula had some little nosebleed or something, and that was pretty much it. And Nolan had to handle the rest. I even wrote here, when he's not stronger, he gets outboxed. And that's why you need that fight IQ, because people are going to be stronger than you. Believe it or not, especially Viltrumites. So when someone's stronger than you, you need to have good fighting skill. He doesn't box. He gets outboxed, and he's not stronger than people. That's why he loses in the way that he does. So with that being said, if you're going to rely on strength and be a meathead, you know what you should probably focus on? Getting stronger. Get stronger. If you're going to rely on being a meathead and being strong and fast, get stronger, get faster. We watched 4 seasons of Invincible. He's had 1 training arc. Now, the 4 seasons only spanned over 3 years, but still, 1 training arc is crazy. And the training arc wasn't enough because immediately after the training arc, he lost the very next fight. He lost the very next fight. Now, if you watch the show, you might be saying, well, actually, he didn't lose the very next fight. He actually beat Fight Master and Kick Buddy, whatever the fuck their names are. Fight Master and Dropkick or whatever. That wasn't a real fight. There were 2 twins who didn't even have powers. They were punching Mark, and he was in the middle of having a conversation with Rex. That doesn't count. They literally didn't do anything. They were trying to steal the Declaration of Independence. That didn't matter. And in he beat Paul. If you want to count the multi-Paul win, where they was beating on Rex, you can count the multi-Paul win. But when the world needed him, when every single hero in the city was captured by Dr. Seismic, the nigga I just told y'all about, when the whole group of heroes was captured by Dr. Seismic, and we only had Mark and Eve to rely on, he couldn't get the job done. He pulled up to this fight after a training arc. Now, they just had said he got 60% stronger, 70% more endurance, and like 130%. No, I think they said he got like 130% stronger, 60% faster, and 70% more endurance. I'm going to play the clip.
Over the last 90 days, Mark's speed has increased 65%, his endurance 70%, and his strength, and we checked this wasn't a mistake, 138%.
So y'all hear those alleged stat boosts he just got. Didn't help him in his next fight. Immediately lost the next big fight that mattered. They pulled up to the fight. I don't think they took out a single centipede or a single spider. Him and Eve didn't take out a single mob that wasn't the volcano dudes who, like, we already know the Magnemites are not like that, bro. He already beat them the second time Dr. Seismic showed up. So, like, the fact that they just got there and he didn't do anything after the training arc was so frustrating to watch. Because why did you just hype this nigga up, make us watch him train like that, pick up icebergs, do all type of shit, fly to the moon and back, and then immediately lose the next big fight. It's so frustrating to watch. Not only did they lose the fight, they got there. Once again, no situational IQ. There's heroes. These heroes are trapped in these eggs right here. They're stuck in here. Why are we not trying to get them out? The Viltrumite chop. You telling me Mark can't fly real fast and chop through some of these to let some of these niggas out, and then like you got teammates? Eve gets some blame for this too. Eve, you can't like try to make a saw or something or cut some of these open? I don't know. Like, why are we not trying to do that? They didn't beat anybody. They got in there, beat a couple Magnemites, and then lost to Centipedes. The very next fight, this is our hero. This is the guy we're relying on. This is the guy who's supposed to save the world. Guess what he's saying in this frame? Eve, please. Oh my God. The nigga said, Eve, please, we're in big trouble. Why are you begging Eve for help? Get us out of here. Get out of here, bro. I don't know, drill through the ground. Maybe use that 130% strength boost. Punch it, cut it, something. You're telling me Mark can't get out of this spider? What is this spider shitting out? A spider was putting these eggs around this nigga. What type of material is he making that no one can get out of this? I refuse to believe Mark couldn't have got out of this egg. But this is the hero we got to rely on. This is the guy who's supposed to save us from the Viltrumites. I'm not seeing it. Now, in this fight, Mark and the rest of the heroes, all 32 of these niggas, I don't know why they only have 32 in the city. I counted the heroes in those eggs. It was like 32 niggas in those eggs. They were saved by Reanimen. Now, if you don't know who the Reanimen are, they were, there are some robots. It doesn't matter who they are. They were saved by Reanimen. And Mark was so mad that Cecil used these Reanimen, that an evil nigga who did do some really bad things to his friend, to be fair. But he was so mad that these things were here that he attacked the robot instead of fighting anybody. He didn't fight anybody else. He attacked the robot. If those robots weren't there, they're dead. Darkwing was also there, who had killed some people in the past, but is now working for the good guys. Mark was mad that he was there. But if it wasn't for Darkwing and the robots, they're all dead. Mark, all the heroes in the eggs, Eve, they're all probably dead in that lava because of Dr. Seismic. They went out to Doc Seismic. Would have. But Mark was too mad. He's such a hypocrite. He didn't care that they just saved the universe. He was just mad that Cecil used them. Because Cecil does things that other people can't. You got to be the good guy or the guy who can save the world. You can't be both. Cecil said it here, nigga. So that's just like, those are some obvious problems right there. They didn't beat anybody. Mark didn't have the IQ to free somebody. He didn't have the strength to beat anybody. He, for some reason, didn't even try to capture Dr. Seismic. Like, he's the one controlling all the bugs. You're not going to go after Seismic. You should be fast. You got a 60% speed boost. You should be able to catch that nigga. All he's doing is flying around on seismic waves. You should be able to catch that nigga. Like, there's just no IQ in any situation with Mark. I don't get it. And he's just back to the one training arc. I don't see, it doesn't make any sense that he has one training arc. Like, he has enough motivation. It's not like there's a lack of motivation to get stronger. He wasn't just stomping people all the way up until he needed to train. There's reasons to train. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you the reasons that he should have trained. This is a list of atrocities, not even just situations that happened to Mark alone. These are pretty much all atrocities, like big problems. And these should have given Mark a reason to be like, damn, I'm not strong enough. I really need to get stronger. I really need to train. This all happened before Mark trained for the first time. Flaxen Commander. The Flaxens came to the city, tore the city up, and was beating the hell out of Mark. Omni-Man saved him. I would have trained after that. The Reanimen. When he fought the Reanimen for the first time at the college campus and under the college campus in the sewers, they were beating Mark both times. I would have trained after that. The Omni-Man tragedy. The city of Chicago. The subway. That all happening. I'm training my ass off. You can't tell me I'm not training after what he said about your mom, what he told you that he was supposed to do to the planet, what he just did to your body, to all those people, with your body, to all those people. I mean, I'm training hard as shit after that because I realized I couldn't do anything to Omni-Man. I need to be stronger. No training session. Still, that amazes me that he didn't train immediately after that. The Lucan and Thula fight that I just referenced earlier. When Lucan and Thula and Krieg and them all came to the Thraxar planet and killed everybody, and Mark couldn't win a fight, and they lost again, I'm training after that. Not Mark Grayson, though. Not Mark Grayson. The Sea Monster. There was a big-ass sea monster that came and almost killed an entire cruise of people. Mark was supposed to save them, but he couldn't. He can't beat big monsters. He just can't. He wasn't doing enough damage to him. He literally couldn't save the people because the sea monster was still attacking. So he had to get bailed out by... Oh, he got bailed out by Anissa. Oh! Damn. He got bailed out by Anissa. All right, let me get back to the point. He got bailed out by Anissa. If Anissa wasn't there to fly straight through the sea monster in one go, that situation would have been wraps. Immediately after that, he gets beat up by Anissa. Be next. All right, children. But he got beat up by Anissa immediately after that. I'm training after those two situations. Not being able to beat that sea monster and save those people, and then not being able to even do anything to Anissa because she bangs even harder than Omni-Man. And one more thing, the Angstrom incident. When I think this was the first time Angstrom pulled up to the house and he was teleporting Mark all around all them dimensions. He broke his mom's arm and knocked his little brother's head on the floor, all that. Then he wanted to train. Now he finally trained after that. It took all those atrocities for you to really feel like you had to step your game up. Couldn't be me, bro. I don't get it. Now, this video is unfortunately dragging. I did not want it to be this long, so I'm going to get to the last point. You might be thinking, bro, you're hating a lot. What really is Mark's win rate? Like, did he really lose that much? What are the numbers? I got the numbers. And I'm going to give them to you. When Mark is alone, his record with no allies, when he's just alone, his record is 12-5. Doesn't sound bad. 12-5, that sounds like a good win rate, right? Until you realize Mark fights a lot of low-tier villains in the show by himself. He cleans up a lot of low-tier villains that literally anybody in the show could have beat, and they boost his numbers, unfortunately. Now, you might be thinking, bro, you're gassing it. You're hoeing Mark. A win is a win. Not really. And it's also not like one or two low-tier villains. Here's a list of low-tier villains that he's beaten. Kill Cannon. He's beaten him like twice, so that's 2 wins. He's beaten Kill Cannon twice, 2 wins. Elephant twice. Dropkick and Fight Master once. Tether Tyrant and Magmaniac twice. Kursk Furnace twice. And there's other like low tier villains, like he beat Titan twice. That might be his whole 12. That might be his whole 12 right there. And he's lost 5 fights, which were like Viltrumites and stuff. Those are all low tier villains that he that he gets wins against. Those are just racking up his numbers, and it looks good on paper until you watch the show and realize anytime he fights comp, he loses. Now with allies, his record is 24-12-1. Now what's the one?
Look at you standing over there in that white dress, just to impress.
She's the one. Anissa, the Anissa situation. Not technically Anissa. The Sea Monster. The Sea Monster situation was one. He didn't technically lose, but he didn't do anything. He wasn't going to be able to save the people because of the Sea Monster, and he couldn't beat the Sea Monster because he wasn't doing any damage, and the people would have died. If she wasn't there, it's a wash situation. So I just gave him a 1, even though I should count it as a loss. So he's 24-12. I still counted some low-tier fights. Like when he was training his little brother Oliver, they also beat Kursk Furnace, Tether Tyrant, and Magmaniac. And by they, I mean Oliver. Mark was just watching Oliver fight. Elephant. Those are fights that I still counted in his winning record. 24-12. I still counted those to boost his numbers. But those are like some low-tier fights. Now, there's some fights that he lost that, like, he was probably dying before help got there. And I think I counted those as losses. because he's dying. He's dying before help got there. Like the Reanimen. When the Reanimen were beating him up in the sewers, he probably would have died. But William got one of them niggas, got Rick to remember William without a piece of his brain. That's bailouts. I don't think that happens. But he got saved. Omni-Man. The Flaxen Commander was beating the shit out of Mark. Omni-Man saved him. Machine Head. When he was fighting Liu. When he was fighting that big-ass dragon who could regenerate, he was losing that fight. But Machine Head shot Liu in the face. The dragon disappeared. He was losing to the Reanimans when the Guardians was trying to help him. And the Reaniman was stomping the shit out of Mark. And the Guardians of the Globe, in the Guardians of the Globe hideout, they was stomping the shit out of Mark. He was losing in. And then, like, yeah, it just gets bad. I do need to wrap this video up because it's getting long. But yeah, so it's hard to be a fan of Mark when I'm watching the show. I get so frustrated at the things that he doesn't do, that the things that he should do. And I know, obviously, it's the writers. Like, every show is just writing. But I don't know why they're writing him like that. I don't know why it's such a crucial thing for them to not allow him to learn and not allow him to win and not allow him to get better or adapt. I don't get it. I don't know from a writer standpoint why that's so important to them. Because, like, I don't know. Just, like, imagine a world where Mark actually trains and, like, actually gets strong. Even, like, a universe where he, like, trains with the Viltrumites. Maybe he grows a mustache like his dad and he really gets a white outfit. Like, he's really strong. Imagine how strong that Mark would be. How powerful and ruthless he'd be, bro. That nigga would be so cold, he'd still lose to a 15-year-old girl in a 1v1 in space. He'd still lose to a 15-year-old girl in a super suit who we've only seen. This might be her first appearance ever on the screen. I think this is her first or second appearance. He still lost. Mark just sucks, bro. I hate Invincible, bro. I'm out of here. Yes, I'm musty and dirty. I just worked out. No, nobody asked. Get me out of this video, bro.